You're listening to 3 on 1. Your hosts are
Steve Cito,
Cole Parkinson,
and
Matthew Perrella.
yeah, baby! It's time!
Hello, everyone. We are on Twitter at 3on1 Sports, hashtag the Kodiak 3on1. We're going to start off with a little bit of WHL action. The Lethbridge Hurricanes are up over the Red Deer Rebels 2-1 at this current moment, correct?
That's right.
And how has the series been for the Hurricanes in your eyes, Cole?
Well, saw the first two games. The first game, they were pretty good in the first game.
Mm-hmm.
But the second and third period killed them. They definitely slowed down a lot. And then the second game, the Hurricanes we're used to seeing. They were up. You know, they won that game, 5-2. So
yeah.
Then last night, I don't know. They're a weird team, man. I don't know. If they get out of this round, I don't know how far they're going to go.
To you, is it a confidence issue? Is it now that they think that they're playing Red Deer in a 7-game series, they think they have to change their game?
Yeah,
yeah,
they have. They definitely changed their game. Like I think we talked about even last week that we said, you know, they got to use their speed and don't rely so much on hitting, and then they did the pretty much the exact opposite. So it's like I don't know what they want to do, but definitely when they use their speed, they're a better team. Yeah. But when they try and hit, they can't compete because that's not their game.
No, they're a little team. Size-wise, they're fast. They have skilled shooters, but they seem to not use them so much in the playoffs. And it seems to be more of a... I wouldn't want to call it a coaching issue. I'd say it's more of a leadership issue on the ice because the rest of the team is going to follow by example. But then when Wong's not playing his game, when Esteban's not playing his game, it's going to be hard for the rest of the boys to fall in line.
Exactly, and I think it's more of a thing where they think at playoff hockey, you know, it's more physical, and you know, you got to grind out there, and that's what they think they got to do. When in reality, you know, just go out there, play your game, and you're going to win this series. But they haven't done that, so
yeah. And you would think that they're smart enough players to the fact where they've made it this far this way, they can go deeper, farther if they stay with their game.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's not sticking to their game is the Calgary Hitmen as well. They are down 3-0 in the series, but right now in intermission they are tied at 0-0 against number one in the WHL, Regina Pats.
Yep.
What have you seen from there?
Well, I think we talked about it again. I mean, we've covered the WHL every week, so
yeah.
We've been talking about the Pats. They're the best team in the dub. You know, you got to watch out for them. And I think they kind of just came out and they did exactly what we thought Lethbridge would do and come out and play their game and, you know, really take it to the Hitmen. And the Hitmen really haven't played their game. So, and like you were saying before, you know, Sam Steele's been Sam Steele this entire series. Yeah, he's been lighting the lamp.
He's really been like in the 5-0 loss last game. He had a hat trick and 2 assists. So it really does seem that they have to stop him and worry and get those dirty goals if they want to stay on in this playoffs.
Do you see them coming back at all?
I could see them potentially winning this one, but it's if they can figure out how to stop Steele and then get past the goaltending. That's the only way I see it, but it's almost a little bit too late. But you never know with this Hitmen team because they have come down from worse in their 6-year consecutive history in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's not over, but I mean, 3-0 is a big hill to climb, especially when you're playing the best team, right? So
yeah.
You never know. It's playoff hockey.
And to you, if the Pats don't do what I would consider one of the biggest crumples of WHL, do you think this is a WHL team, Regina Pats team that we saw that they went all in? Do you think that they're a team that can come back with the Memorial Cup?
I don't know. They still got a lot of teams to go through to get there. I mean, Prince George is on the other side. They're up 2-1, so I mean, it's nothing. It's not over yet. So I mean, they could still lose out. But I mean, Medicine Hat's already through to the next round. They swept Brandon. So I mean, and then Seattle's up 3-0. So I mean, there's still a lot of teams to go through, but I still think they would be my pick to go through this. But bring back Memorial Cup is tough. You still got to go through all the
O and the
Q.
Q.
Exactly.
But to me, it seems like if there was going to be
a year
for a WHL franchise to do it, it's this year with these Regina Pats.
Yeah, and they're a strong team. Like I think if they did make it that far, I think the O and Dub team, or not the O and Dub, O and Q teams would underestimate them. You know,
100%.
I think that side of the country doesn't really look at the WHL the same way they look at the Q and the O. So,
do you think it is because of the WHL being considered one of the more physical, not so much the skill high draft pick boys?
Yeah, definitely. It's almost like a completely different style of hockey over here. You know, it's a lot more grindy, a lot more dump and chase, you know, where there it's carry the puck in, get the shots, make some moves, make some nice passes. So, I mean, I would like to see them get in there, and, you know, any of these WHL teams, I'd love to see them bring it back home for the boys. Yeah,
I more tend to think that if any team is going to do it, it's going to be the Pats. I think if the Cougars go over there, they will lose to the OHL, but I just think that the way that Regina is built, they're built to beat the O and the Q. And the Q stock, I think in the last couple of years, they're not as strong as we still remember them being.
Yeah. The OHL is definitely the top tier league, and where I think WHL slots in second.
Yeah.
But again, the East, I don't think thinks that way. I still think they think, you know, Dub is way below both of those leagues. Where, again, they probably don't watch nearly as much as we do. So that's where they're coming from.
Yep. That's fair to say. I think we'll go to a break here, and then we'll come back with a long NHL talk.
Steve can't stop us talking NHL tonight.
Silly Steven, he thinks he can do that, but he can't.
No.
Hello, and welcome back, everyone. Apparently, when I hit the button the first time, it decided to not listen to me.
That happens all the time.
Yep. Welcome to Lethbridge.
Lethbridge College.
Woo!
You didn't play the button for me. There we go.
Yeah, I forgot about it.
Oh, you did good.
Sorry.
Hey, who wants to grab a cold one?
You know who might want to grab a cold one?
Who?
Sensei Burgess.
Yeah.
Blender action. I think that's his new blender right now.
It is. Yeah, he's probably blending up some margaritas as we speak.
Maybe a little bit of pina colada.
Ooh. Yeah. He's definitely not listening.
No.
We know that.
Oh, 100%. NHL action. What's going on right now? Cool.
Let's do a quick scoreboard update.
Woo.
Some games are already over, which, of course, 8 o'clock. Starting with, are we going to play the song?
Yeah, man.
Okay, I was
waiting
waiting
for start. No, I was waiting for you to start,
3, 2, 1. The Philadelphia Flyers beat the New York Islanders 6-3. Carolina continues to win, surprisingly. 2-1 over Columbus in overtime. Boston won 2-0 over Dallas. Montreal blows out Florida 6-2. Florida does not look good.
Nope.
I think they're done.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay wins 5-3 over Red Deer. Sorry, I got the Red Deer score up and the Lethbridge score up. Tampa Bay beat Detroit. 5-3.
Detroit, not Detroit, but Detroit.
Toronto is up 2-1 over Nashville. The Minnesota Wild are up 4-1 over the Sens. Winnipeg is losing 3-1 to Anaheim. And
they're done.
Yeah, they're not a very good team. Edmonton is up 2-1 over San Jose. That is it.
All right.
And I believe Red Deer just tied the game. So.
Okay.
So there's a quick update for the
WHL. All right, so where do you want to start? With Edmonton or Toronto, Cole?
Let's start with Edmonton. They just clinched.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. That was your Edmonton. All right, so Toronto.
I just want to ask you a question. Would you rather them play Calgary in the first round, or would you rather see them play someone else?
I'd rather see them play someone else so they don't go to the second round.
Okay.
Not that they, when it comes down to it, I want them to play Calgary in my heart, but I think it would be easier. I think it'd be better if it was a second round matchup for them instead of a first round, because I think once you get into the second round, people get more amped up because that's what it was like on the Red Mile. We beat Vancouver, and that was a great ramp up. But once the Flames got into the second round, that city was way more.
Oh yeah,
Like
every
exploded. So-
round it gets like another
Right?
level.
And then
of,
so I think by having it in the second round, Edmonton and Calgary, I think that would be
that'd
that'd
be like,
almost bring it back.
that'd
to
be
the
close
80s,
to
yeah.
like Stanley Cup final.
Yeah,
playing those
pretty
two teams.
much.
Also, Montreal clinched with their win tonight, so
Oh, okay.
another Canadian team for sure in there.
Yeah, that's
Not surprising.
no. When you've been consistently healthy with Carey Price, you're going to be the top of the worst division in hockey. So I'm not surprised. I am surprised it took them so long.
I'm honestly surprised that Ottawa didn't overtake them the way they were playing for those like 3 weeks in a row.
But the problem with Ottawa is they've been so injured so often this year.
And then Craig Anderson, he's in and out because of his wife, which really
Yeah.
sucks. He's having a fantastic
Fantastic
year.
year.
He could probably win the Vezina if he played the entire year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that sucks for him, but I'm sure he's going to have a massive playoffs just for that reason alone.
Yeah, and I think I'd be more scared meeting Ottawa in the playoffs than Montreal right now.
Yes and no.
Just due to the fire
My-
that will be in them.
Oh yeah, they're going to be a tough team to play. But if I'm Toronto, I'd rather play Ottawa just because Montreal has won like 17 games in a row against Toronto. So I mean, but yeah, any other team playing Ottawa, yeah, I would be. But I mean,
Isn't first in the East? Sorry, is number 2 wild card go to Atlantic or is it number 1? Because I thought it was number.
the wild card spot, the first
Yeah,
wild card is
third.
New York Rangers, and
Yeah,
they've
and then
clinched
aren't
already.
they going? Wouldn't they be playing Montreal?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. Yeah, so that would be. That's going to be a fun series to watch because.
Any of those Metro teams, that there's going to be a battle the first round.
Yeah, and I'm excited to watch Columbus and Pittsburgh Part 2. Or 3, I guess,
Yeah.
technically.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Washington does this year because they're
I watched.
in year 3 of win mode. Like,
Yeah,
they got to
and-
do it.
And this is the year that they said they would do it. Last year, the GM and the owner said.
They ran
next
into
year.
a hot Pittsburgh team.
And they did, and it's when you get heated up, not how good were you in the regular season when you were hot. It's how hot are you at the end of the season
Yeah.
to go into the playoffs.
And I mean, Pittsburgh's not going to be as hot as they were going into playoffs
No,
last year. Like,
and-
it doesn't happen, but
And Murray and Fleury aren't the question marks that
No.
they were, because a huge part of it was no one knew about Murray, and because he was so new,
Yeah.
he was so good, and no different than the Hamburglar the year
Yeah.
before. No different than Hiller in Calgary. I can't even go through
wow.
that. Cause
Deep cut. He was good one year.
Yeah,
They
one
got
year,
together.
and but he didn't know how to put the glove on the right hand and the stick in the correct hand.
So if you're Washington, are you scared to face Pittsburgh again? Like,
No.
is that a fear?
No, if you're Washington, you can't be scared, because I think they were scared hitting because they barely got past Gustafson in Philly, and so that kind of spooked them, and that's what caused them. Like, they have to walk in with everything on the table.
Yeah.
They just got to flop it down and say, hey, we're better than you, and play their game. Holtby, I don't want to say he's soft in the playoffs, but he's not Holt Beast
Yeah.
in the playoffs, and that's what they need. They need him to step up a little bit. And Williams just has to stay the way he's
Oh,
been,
yeah.
because he's been
Playoff
an
performer.
all-star in the playoffs.
Yeah. I would like to say Washington's the favorite in the East, but if Pittsburgh makes it, I still think they're my favorite.
See, for me, it's team-wise, it's Washington, but history-wise,
That's Pittsburgh.
it's Pittsburgh. But I'm still I would still put more money on Washington this year.
Yeah.
Last year it was a coin flip.
Yep.
It really was. And the winner of that series, everyone knew was going to win the cup.
Yep. Exactly. And I think a Metro team is gonna definitely be in the final. Like, I don't see any of the Atlantic teams
No.
unless they get really hot and get great. Like, I mean, if Ottawa has Anderson and he plays like he has been, that could be a team that does it. But I don't see it happening. The Metro is way too strong.
And out west, are you seeing a Pacific Division or a Central Division?
Oh, it's weird how it's switched. Like the
'Cause-
West for 4, 5, 6 years in a row, it was
Yep.
like coin flip. And then this year, I don't know.
The thing is the way I see the West at least,
Yeah.
is there's no underdog.
Nope.
Because even the wildcard teams, whether it's going to be St. Louis, Calgary, Edmonton, Nashville, Anaheim,
They're all
St. Louis,
very equal teams.
They're all so equal, and especially if Calgary can get to the way that they have been playing, it's going to be a coin flip, because I can see Calgary, I can see Anaheim, I can see Minnesota if they smarten their game up, I can see Chicago all taking down San Jose.
Yeah.
But I can
still think Chicago's
I can still see San Jose right back where they were last season.
Yeah, I mean, I think Chicago's the only team that would be like, they should make it, like 2-8. I don't know. I think any of those teams could make it, and I think any of them could beat Chicago. I don't think Chicago's like this world beater.
The only advantage Chicago has is the rings.
Yeah.
And the house. That madhouse on Madison, that's a scary barn to be in.
Yeah,
for sure.
They know exactly, the fans know what to expect, and they know what
they
need to
want,
do.
and it's not so new to them anymore.
Yeah, it's a culture of winning, right? They expect to win every single playoff game, and when the other team comes in there, like, the fans are right in your face, and they're loud.
And when you look at when LA won their last cup instead of Chicago, excuse me, it took a blatant stick-breaking slash in overtime that didn't get called for LA to beat Chicago.
Yeah, exactly.
And they brought back guys like Oduya and other cup winners with them that know their system.
That's a Chicago trade deadline special.
so
Every year they
easy.
bring at least one person back who's won a cup with them.
They did with Versteeg the last time they won the cup.
They're just so smart with their money and their cap situation.
Well, they have to be when you spend $20 million on.
Yeah, but I mean, they make it work.
The top two.
They're still, top 3 in teams for the NHL for sure.
Yeah. So I was at the Calgary game last night. I was live tweeting off of our 301's Twitter.
I watched it in a bar in Coldell.
Nice.
Kind of the same thing.
Did you have a midnight patty? No, not even close.
It's pretty close.
No.
No, it's not even close. No midnight patty for me last night. Just watching the game. It's actually real entertaining. Like, I'm just ready for playoff hockey.
And same, and I got nosebleed seats for it, and the nosebleeds.
Those guys like to party up there.
And they were as packed as they could be for a non-playoff game.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It was crazy. The fights, I think, there's a couple reasons why I think Calgary lost. But the fans were ready. The team seemed ready at the beginning. But it really didn't fall their way. Bishop made saves look easy. That would have gone in last week.
Yeah.
On either Bishop or Quick last week. The thing that surprised me a lot was how out of it you could tell Drew Doughty was.
I was going to chime in with, I think Tkachuk is just a fantastic player.
He's nuts.
He's not scared of anybody. Like, he ran Doughty 3 or 4 times last night, and Doughty was scared of him. Like, when he went down from that one hit at center ice, like, he knew it was coming, and he knew he was going to...
The only way he could not get hit and not be the back end of a highlight reel was if he slides like he's in the MLS.
And then Tkachuk picks up, I can't remember who it was, but some guy came at him and, was giving him the gears, and they picked up a penalty. So, I mean...
Yeah, and the thing is, there's been a lot of talk on the airways back home about if Tkachuk crossed a line by talking smack in the pregame, and that's why LA came out so much. But I don't think that's it, because he did smack talk him, saying he went and cried to the media, but then backed it up with 2 compliments to Doughty. Yeah. He's just honing his craft of being a more skilled Roussel in the fact where he's going to piss off everyone, but he'll still score. And I think that's amazing to watch, and to have it so close is going to be perfect to see. But Calgary tried to play LA's game against LA.
Yeah.
And LA proved that defensively, doesn't matter how beat up they are, how much they're not listening to Daryl Sutter, they can still play good enough dealing to Daryl Sutter, they can still play good enough dealing to Daryl Sutter to win games when they're playing LA's style.
Yeah, and just going back to Tkachuk, like, I have zero issues with the way he played.
Nope.
I think he should have got suspended for that, and he did.
Yeah.
But that's his game. Like, he should be doing that. Like,
He's going to get suspended so many more times throughout his career.
exactly. Like,
And-
that's his game.
Right.
And he gets in people's heads,
And the thing
it
is,
showed.
he's only 19.
Yep, he's going to get
He's
way
a
better.
rookie. He would probably win the Calder if it wasn't for
So stacked this year.
Matthews, Line, Marner,
Nylander just took over for Marner. Like, Werenski, like Murray. There's so
like,
many guys out there
and
right
it's
now.
so deep of a class this year that it's nuts. But yeah, as long as Calgary, I think it's a good loss for Calgary in the sense that now they know, because they're gonna play games like that in the playoffs, whether they hit up Anaheim, Lucic, or San Jose. That they can't play that game and win. They have to play their game, and it's better that they learn it now than in game 3 or 4.
Yeah, exactly. Like, right now is when you're okay. You're like, they're right on the clinch, right on the cusp of clinching.
If they win tomorrow, they clinch.
Exactly.
Right?
So right now is the time to learn how to play. You know, they got a lot of guys who've been in the playoffs before, but a lot of guys that haven't been. So these playoff atmospheres are real beneficial for them.
All right, put on your coaching hat.
Okay.
Are you going to keep Elliott in even though 4 goals went past him last night, or are you going to give the call to Chad Johnson?
No, I'm sticking with Elliott. Like, he's got to be the guy going in.
Yep.
I think Johnson's going to get his shot, but Elliott's got to be the guy, and he's been the guy for a while now.
So once they get that X against their name saying that they're clinched, nothing matters, they're going into the playoffs, is that when you're going to throw in some more Chad Johnson just to get them ready for playoffs?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm sure they'd rather be third in the division than this first wildcard spot. So I don't expect them to play every single game going down. I still think Elliott's going to get the majority of them, but I think you got to give Johnson at least 1 or 2 games.
Yep.
Because if Elliott goes down and Johnson hasn't played in a while, that could be a big downfall and, end your season early.
All right, that's perfect. Is there any... Ooh, do you want to talk about Detroit real quick?
Oh, yeah. That's
a tough
big ups
one.
to Nick Nielsen for having 25 years of playoffs, and this year it's finally over.
Yeah.
Do we have we need to have Everybody Hurts queued up for that.
We don't have
it.
Yeah. Get that garbage out of here!
Yeah.
Because that is the team that is getting out of the Joe, going into the Little Caesars Arena next year.
Oh, the Joe was bad.
Do you think they're going to start anew?
No, not next year.
No?
No.
No? Do you think they're going to go on a 25-year playoff list streak now?
Oh. No.
No? How long do you honestly see them turning around?
Oh, man. Detroit's a weird team just because they never call up young guys, but they have to now.
They have to, yeah.
So this is like...
I think the biggest thing for me, when looking back at how long it's been in the 25 years, they've only had 3 captains in that time.
Yeah.
Like, that's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have a turnover. I mean, Zetterberg's getting up there. He's going to play next year. I think probably 2 more years, maybe.
Yeah.
But they're a weird team. I don't know. I'm going to say 3 years. They're going to be out. I'm going to
3 years?
It's just a guess. Like, I have no idea.
I'm going to say 2 years.
2?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's in there. I don't think it'll be more than 5. I'd be very surprised.
I'd feel super bad if that was the case.
Yeah, they had 25 years of playoffs. I think they can handle 5 now.
Hello and welcome back.
Hello.
Cool.
Smooth fade.
Thank
Again,
you.
sounds good.
Smooth fade. Do you like smooth fade?
Love them.
How about jazz?
Love everything about the smoothness.
That was
Smooth.
that was less smooth. I
Little
was
rough
too
around the
busy
edges.
staring into your beautiful blue eyes.
Ooh, thank you. I don't know what that was, but all right.
That was my best Iceman from Top Gun impression.
Okay.
There's
I'll give
nothing
it to
wrong with your flying maverick. It's your attitude.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Sure.
That was good.
You know who has a bad attitude?
Who?
Naheed Nenshi, mayor of Calgary.
Yeah?
Yep. Says that no one wants Calgary next.
I don't think that's true.
Nope. It's
I feel like
definitely
one
not
of
true.
the people in this room want it.
He also claims that it doesn't help the community in any way.
Ooh.
Not true as well.
I can't agree with him there.
You agree with Nenshi on that?
No, I can't agree with him there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to hate you.
No. The dome is so old. It's time for a new barn.
And the thing is, the second that Detroit leaves, Calgary's Saddle Dome will be the second oldest arena active in the NHL.
Yep.
But I would consider it the oldest because the only one ahead of it is the Madison Square Garden.
And that
has been renovated so immensely that it is a new arena in an old shell.
basically.
Yeah, it's a flipper flop house.
Yep. And I don't think they're ever going to get rid of it. So I mean,
no, and they can't. And the thing is, with Calgary Next is it has the community sheds that they're asking for.
Yep.
It has other businesses in and around it, creating a hub.
Yep. Exactly.
And it will revitalize the whole East End,
yep.
creating a new neighborhood, creating economics and jobs to build it,
yep.
to work in said stores. There will be a hotel provided. And I think especially to the not so savvy or sport fan people, having one location to go to and just knowing how to go to one location, so much easier. Plus, it will bring in more concerts.
For sure.
Because
the Dome sucks.
Because the Dome sucks for it. And the neighborhood, Brentwood, the neighborhood around McMahon Stadium, not allowed to have outdoor concerts because the neighborhood complained and created a petition. So
weak.
Right?
So weak.
Like,
get that garbage out of here.
Hey,
that one
struggling.
Too. That one too. All of the above. Just play them all.
Garbage out of here. Hey, who wants to grab a cold one?
Itchy.
Right here in Lethbridge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
And
that's garbage.
And then, on top of all that, there's been more than a single game where there's been an announcer, or the announcer announces that certain parts of the men's lavatories at McMahon aren't allowed to be used or flushed because it's causing flooding during the game.
That makes everybody happy, for sure. That's the best part.
Yeah, and nothing says, hey, let's have, you know what's a great idea? Let's put our money-making Stampeders team in the University of Calgary's land. So not only do we have to pay all these people, but then we have to use overly priced concession stands so we can pay rent.
Yeah.
Instead of just having a spot of land for us ourselves.
Yeah, it feels like it would create so much less problems than what they have with both the Stamps and the Flames. Like, Saddledome sucks, and, you know, the Stamps are playing at the U of L, or not U of L.
The UFC arena, yeah.
They might have to come to the U of L pretty soon to play there.
Yeah. Well, there's that nice new arena for the university that had nothing. Do you know the story behind that?
No, I don't.
So what I was told is there's a junior football league. It houses the Calgary Colts, the Hilltoppers. So they're a junior football league. It's for guys that need to upgrade before they can get into university ball.
Yep.
Or they don't really want to go to university, so they'll play there for a couple years. And then if they're good enough, they can get on a practice team and drafted and stuff like that. So Lethbridge wanted a team.
Yep.
And so they put aside all this money, they built it all. But then the foundation cracked.
Awesome.
In the winters.
Yep.
Causing them, so all the money for coaches, equipment, players, all that had to go into fixing the foundation. So now it's only used for rugby and I think
high school football.
But only the big games. Because you cannot have multiple games.
It's changed because when I was in high school, some of the Coldell games were in Lethbridge and they were played at the U of L.
That's fancy.
So I've been to a couple ball games there.
Nice.
Not bad.
Yeah, and McMahon is too big and old to house the Dinos and the Colts in Calgary as well because they closed down half of it, and then even then it's not completely filled for that half because it is cold.
Yeah.
And it is an open stadium.
Yeah, and the proposed one is closed, is it not?
Yeah, retractable. Yeah. And gorgeous. The only problem is who's going to pay to get the creosote out of the soil.
Yeah, that's a big problem. That's the money, right?
That's where most of the money would be going to.
But I think it was the president and CEO of the Flames was on Tim and said last week, I believe.
Yeah, King.
Yeah, and he was saying, you know, look at Edmonton and look at the success and look at what all the reviews are saying. I don't think I've heard a bad thing about it. They bring that to Calgary.
Yeah, the
like
only
it's-
bad review I heard about it was it's in Edmonton.
But
Right? But the other thing is Edmonton had to threaten to leave to get that done.
yeah,
And Calgary, they won't do that.
no, yeah.
It,
It'll get done eventually. It just
Yeah.
may not be the same plan.
No.
It may not be the same.
and a couple of people that I've been talking to that do work for the Flames have said that they're checking out spots and on the Stampede grounds.
Yeah.
There, but the problem is, where would that be?
Yeah, you have
Because-
to take another building down.
Right.
Yeah.
And you would have to tear down the Saddle Dome probably.
Right after.
So then where would they play? Because the only way to see a new arena there would have to take so much that there'd be no Stampede grounds at that point.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense to have it in the Victoria Park area.
Yeah, there's not enough room there to build one as well as keep the Saddle Dome because they would have nowhere to play. So they have to go somewhere else because I imagine the dome is getting taken down as soon as the new one's built because what are they going to use it for, right?
Yeah, I don't. Super dogs.
Just to look at a nice building to look at because it's got a nice shape
Saddle,
to it.
yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Other teams that had terrible arenas. Oakland Raiders are now going off to Vegas. So
Vegas, baby.
And it's awkward because they're not going now. They've
Nope.
announced that they're leaving, but they're staying for 2 to 3 years so they can build a football arena football arena in Vegas.
Yep.
So it's pretty much like saying, "Hey, baby, I'm going to break up with you
But in 2 years.
for this beautiful lady over here, but I'm going to stay in our bed with you for the next 2 years while she gets her stuff together."
And we build a house.
Yeah, while we build a nice house on the west side.
How do you think attendance is going to be next year? Do you think Oakland fans are still going to go out, or do you think they say, screw this, like, this isn't my team anymore?
I think they're going to try to go. They're kind of. I don't know. I think they're too strong of a fan base. I feel like they're genuinely going to be like Winnipeg and be like, "Oh, I bet if we show up all the time, they're going to be like, no, we're not moving anymore." Because, they're not the smartest group. I know.
Do you see that guy in the gorilla mask do an interview about Oakland?
No.
Oh, it's pretty good. Keeps the gorilla suit on and everything. Oh, and then he got married in the gorilla suit. Saw it on Barstool the other day. Oh, it might be my favorite thing I've ever seen and my least favorite thing I've ever seen. Offside for sure.
So offside. Jesus.
A part of me wants them to just not show up and just to play in an empty barn.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
No. And then you see what Montreal is doing. Did you hear what Montreal?
No.
Okay, so Montreal, the MLB said to Montreal,
Oh, the MLB, yeah.
you have to check off all these boxes to get a new team.
Yeah, and Bella Stadium was number one.
Yeah, and they have plans for a new stadium. They have mayor approval.
Yep.
They have an ownership group, and it will cost about $2 billion to build a stadium and house a team the first couple of years of it. Do you see the Oakland A's or the Tampa Bay Rays moving to Montreal?
I think Tampa would be the option. I don't know if Oakland needs
Oakland needs a new arena, and it didn't look like they were going to do it for the big guys, the Raiders. So do you think they'll actually do it for the baseball team, or is the Oakland A's moving to San Jose?
I don't know.
Oakland's going to go from 2-0 and real quick.
Both of those stadiums are just garbage. But I don't know.
It's
feel
the
like
same stadium.
No, I mean for Oakland.
Okay.
Oakland and Tampa Bay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, both of those ones are bad. But I feel like there's more, like Oakland gets a better showing, like when they're good.
When they're good.
Yeah. And then Tampa Bay just like, unless they're in the postseason, they don't get it. So that would be my pick. But I feel like Tampa Bay would be able to afford a new.
And especially when it looks like Tampa Bay would be leaving, I feel like they would put in the money and get a better, like, I don't know why they have an enclosed arena. You're in Tampa.
Get a retractable roof already.
No, just have it open.
I don't think they're going to do that. It just rains in Tampa Bay,
Yeah, but it's sunny FLA, dude.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's nice, but I don't know if they'll.
But having
It's like the Houston thing, right? They have a retractable roof because it gets so hot.
Yeah,
they
I
have
guess.
to close it. And Tampa Bay, I mean, probably not as hot, but it still gets pretty warm and
yeah,
it's humid.
it's
and
humid. I guess,
uncomfortable.
but it's. I want to see. I'd rather see the Athletics than the Devil Rays in
Yep.
Montreal.
Not even the Devil Rays, just the Rays.
And then, have you seen that latest logo they're trying to do to make it more of a sun ray? So then it's just the stupid yellow dollop on their hat.
They have got to have the worst jerseys of all time.
So
Just from the
bad.
beginning till right now, they're so bad.
And I don't understand why it was so bad to be the Devil Rays.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that's what they're
Because the devil.
called.
So I don't know.
Metal.
Exactly, a little metal for you. The Metal Rays.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Yeah, would they have to be called the Expos? Like the Jets had to be called the Jets?
I think it has to be. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I think they would be, but I wouldn't be opposed to them changing it.
No, I hate
Whereas the
name.
Jets, like, it has to be.
It
the
has
Jets.
to be the Jets.
Like, I would have been disappointed if it wasn't the Jets, and maybe that's just because I'm not like a Montreal fan.
But I'm still disappointed that Winnipeg doesn't have a giant picture of the Queen in the MTS Center. Like, like
Real old school.
Yeah. But the Jets
Would you
had
like
to
to see
say the
Vlad
Jets.
Guerrero out there too, playing left field or what?
No, please, God, no. But
He could probably still hit like 250, man. Have you seen his son? Like his
I
kid
haven't.
is pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
But he's playing. He's still playing in Canada.
Baby
so that's
blue jerseys
nice.
for Montreal, or the powder blue, or whatever
no.
blue you consider.
Maybe it's
that?
like a throwback, but I feel it's like the same thing as Winnipeg. It's going to be the same name, but they're going to update everything and make it more modern.
I would rather have an MLB team out west, myself.
And I think they could do it. The only problem is, I don't know if Vancouver would be the obvious choice. I don't think Calgary or Edmonton would even consider it.
The difference is when Calgary has sports teams, everyone shows up.
Yeah, and I feel like there's
Right.
more surrounding communities around Calgary that would definitely go. But
Yeah, and
look when they play in Seattle, like people from Saskatchewan all the way across to
Exactly.
Vancouver Island are in Seattle watching these games.
and I think it would cause kind of a bigger rivalry just because it's the West versus the East, even though TV-wise, it's easier for the media if it's Montreal.
I think the problem there, though, is bringing a team out west is, like, I don't want to put
Which
a number on
city?
it, but, no, I was going to say, like, I don't want to put a number on it, but I'd wager probably like 85% of all Canada's Blue Jays fans. And if they bring a team out west, do you think that gets cut? Because
Yeah.
I'm not changing. Like,
I would.
no, I
as
couldn't.
long as it's not Edmonton, I would change.
So if it was Edmonton or Vancouver, would you change?
If it was Vancouver,
You would be a Vancouver MLB
I would.
fan.
Yeah,
See, I couldn't do it. Like,
I would cheer
I'm
for
a
the
Blue Jays
Vancouver
guy now.
Athletics.
You know what I mean?
Right, and I get that, but at the same time, when it's closer to your home,
Yeah.
it's kind of more that like.
Yeah, I've never been that way.
Because
so
I did not like Atlanta, and I have a Jets jersey in my closet.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You know?
I think it's like a Canadian thing too, where it's like, if a team came to Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, I'd be like, cool. They're not my team, but if they do well, awesome.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, but I mean Montreal. Like, I'm not going to go for Montreal, but they might be, my top 5 teams maybe. But
Yeah.
definitely wouldn't be like, I need them to win.
No, but it would definitely be a huge draw when the Blue Jays would come in, and
Oh yeah.
it would be a great series to watch. And imagine if they would be an NL team instead of an AL
Well, then they
team.
wouldn't play very often. That's
No, but that could potentially make a Battle of
interesting.
Canada World Cup.
World
The
Series.
World Series.
Yeah.
What did I...
Dude, we're struggling
Oh.
tonight. Both of us.
Oh, we need Steve. Just kidding.
I don't give a damn about no damn Drake night.
I don't give a damn about no Steve.
Nope. Yeah. That's a good call. That's a deep cut. We don't play that one very often.
We
but
don't,
when we do,
but it's so good.
I think it's a good thing we don't play it very often.
Yeah.
It's a nice little treat. We get here.
Shout out Chavy. Scott, cause it's lit.
Another one of my favorites.
Oh, so
Lots of
good.
good stuff. But I think before we go, I
Yep.
don't know if you're going.
Yeah,
Montreal
I was
like already kind of is like the same thing with Winnipeg. They have like a pre-built fan base already. Like if they come back, they already have fans.
But do you really think, because the way it looks now, a lot of Montreal are Blue Jays, do you think just because it's their city they're going to switch because they get it back? Or do you think they're still bitter with the way and how and the MLB and all that?
I don't know. I think a lot of them would change. It's like the same thing with Winnipeg, right? Like all of Winnipeg's a Jets team, but they weren't Atlanta fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
And
I still think
and none of them supported Phoenix.
no, exactly.
They hated Phoenix.
Yeah. So I think it would be like Montreal would be their number one team, but they would still cheer for the Blue Jays just because, again, they haven't had a team since, 2003, I believe?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
The
it's been a long time that they haven't had a team. So the Blue Jays have obviously been the team, but bringing back a Montreal team would be kind of interesting. I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
I think we'll get there eventually.
That makes sense.
Might be a while.
We'll be back with a little bit of association.
Ooh, NBA.
Association.
Ooh, NBA. Mike's not on.
Why? Why does it do this to me? Why does it hate me? Hey, Cole.
You were going to call him Steve.
I was. Why does Steve hate me, Cole?
I don't know. It's
I don't
Steve.
know. Yeah, he's too grumpy.
He is. Old man.
I hit the show log fade on and everything, so it'd fade that out nicely, and then it didn't.
Hard stop.
Stupid technology.
Hard stop. That one.
Speaking of stupid technology, we are on YouTube. Please subscribe at 301 Sports. Squeaky arm over there.
Just trying to find a sweet spot here.
And myself in our next video, other than this podcast. If you at any time you do need to leave, that's okay, because we will be up on YouTube with this podcast coming back. As well as Cole and I will be ranking all the NHL jerseys, home jerseys.
This year's jerseys.
This year's.
Yeah.
In
Maybe
order.
a couple of shout-outs to old school jerseys, but that's about it.
Yeah, third jersey references
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, we haven't really written the script yet. That will either be out Saturday or Sunday.
This
filming,
weekend, yeah.
Yeah, filming goes on tomorrow, but I have lots of things to do. I'm a very busy boy.
Yep. Aren't we all?
I don't know. Some people
Some
aren't.
people. Most of the people in this program are.
Oh, I was talking about that.
Sure.
But yeah, tweet to us, hashtag the Kodiak 301 at 301 Sports. A little bit of association.
Well, basketball.
The Raptors lost 110 to 106. Charlotte had 44 points
In the fourth.
In the fourth quarter alone.
It's not a bad fourth quarter for the Hornets.
No, but that's a team and a game.
Yeah.
They cannot lose.
Yeah, the Raps are a weird team, man. They should be way better than they are, but they just find ways to lose to teams that they shouldn't.
And the thing is, it's almost as if they've drowned out their coach. I know it's late in the season. I know you kind of shouldn't be doing it, but it's worked for Pittsburgh with winning their 2 cups.
Yeah.
But I think they need a new coach sooner rather than later. I don't think wait till the season ends, because you can lose good players in the off season if it doesn't happen.
Well, I don't think they're going to fire him now, but if they don't make it to the conference finals again, I don't know if Dwayne Casey will be back.
I don't think Dwayne Casey should be back tomorrow. Cool.
Fire him with 6 games left to go. I don't know if that's going to happen, but
Nothing's going to shake up the boys more like, oh yeah, by the way, we're going into the playoffs. Here's a new coach. Your jobs are on the line now. You have no excuses.
yeah, but most of the guys' jobs aren't on the line. That's the problem.
Yeah, but once you get rid of that head coach, it makes them think that no one is safe from being traded.
Other than DeMar. I think DeMar is the only guy that you can't even think of getting rid of. The dude has been the best player. This could be the best Raptor season for a single player ever.
But where has it gotten them, Cole? I don't know.
I don't know.
I kept my mouth shut and I was shaking my hands around.
I know. I
but
saw
we
it.
are on radio.
Again, they've clinched this playoff spot, so I mean, it's not like they're in shambles and not going to make playoffs. But I mean, Cleveland is not even in first place right now as we look at the standings. But
Yeah, remember when Cleveland
was
in first and had,
I still don't like. If I was going to put money on any team making it to the NBA Finals, it's still
Wizards.
Cleveland. The Wizards aren't a bad team, and I'd probably pick them over Boston, but I
in
don't
the
know.
last 10 they've been 5-5, Cole.
Yeah.
I don't and for a Wizards team that I didn't see being number 3.
Nobody did.
Right.
At the beginning, there was Cleveland, Toronto, Boston.
Right.
That was
And then in my head, I had the Hawks.
around there, yeah. And people
Yeah.
had the Bulls. People
Yeah.
were expecting the Bulls to be good, and of course, New Jersey was supposed to be good, or not New Jersey.
Really? New
York
Jersey? Wow.
struggling tonight.
Wow.
The Nets after that big D Rose trade.
That is our brains. We have blender brains going on right now.
Yeah, not a solid night for us tonight.
Not a
especially
solid night.
me. Usually I'm better.
Well, you know what?
We've got some visitors out there.
Yeah, hi in the hallway. We are doing our best.
Yeah.
You
We're
know
trying.
who's also doing his best?
Who's that?
LeBron James is doing his best to win an Olympic gold medal in diving.
Yeah. We're just watching the flop from the other night where he gets grazed on the back, and then he's in front of the bench just crying.
Yeah. But I think this is a real problem in basketball.
And yeah,
not just with LeBron, because LeBron is a huge part of it.
The problem with LeBron is he came out and said, I don't flop, I don't have to flop because I'm, LeBron James. But we see it every year, he flops.
But he's right. He shouldn't flop. He is LeBron James.
Yeah,
you cannot call yourself the king unless it is the king of flopping.
And it's like last year was bad too in the playoffs against the Raps. He had a couple real bad ones.
Yeah. And when you have that, it lessens the league when your stars are doing this. To me, it's an embarrassment to himself, his family.
Don't bring his family into that. He doesn't like that at all.
Yeah,
he's gonna call in and
cool.
tell us he's a father
Do
of
it.
2 kids.
Hey, LeBron, you're a father of 2 kids. Why don't you grow up and stay on your feet, sir? Unless you are dunking.
Yeah.
I
agree. LeBron James, man.
LeBron James.
Best player in the league, but man, he drives me nuts sometimes. Just a diva.
He is. But it's not just him. There's other players. Like, I remember very vividly, Dwayne Wade, friend of LeBron James.
LeBron James.
Yes. Hurt his shoulder.
Yep.
So, of course, he had to get picked up and carried off the court because he can't walk. He hurt his shoulder.
Yeah.
And then came out 5 minutes later. LeBron also has a tendency of needing a wheelchair to get off the court because he's having troubles breathing.
Yeah. And again, like we say, basketball is a game where you can win with one guy, but I find like they're also the weakest league in that, where their star players will just go down and try and get the call.
When the Premier League is looking at you and being like, yo, why are you guys flopping so much?
Yeah, it's not good.
There's a problem.
Again, it might be just like it's the hockey thing where like you don't see diving very often. Like you see it now and again as you taking the elevator down.
Hello.
But I mean, hockey is we're hockey guys. So I mean, we see this, and if you do that in hockey, you get crucified.
Yeah, but we've seen it throughout the league as well. That there's other guys like it. DeRozan ties a string around his finger to stay in the game.
Well, I have no problem with that.
Right? But he's trying to stay in the game. It's hurting.
Oh, okay.
What do I do?
Yeah.
I'll try this because I want to keep playing even though I'm injured. Lowry destroys his elbow and everything, does All-Star
Breaks
game.
his hand, does the All-Star game.
Right? And then we have guys like Curry with busted knees and ankles, and he is still going out in the regular season when they've already clinched a playoff spot, when they're being the best regular season team of all time, he's still coming out and doing it. And so I find it more embarrassing when you're saying you're better than Curry, you're a different player than Curry, all that, but Curry, Valanciunas, all these guys are still coming out and they're still playing, giving it 100 and not flopping like Little is. And it's an issue.
Here's another question I got for you. The other night, San Antonio plays Golden State, and all of their starters are rested. They don't play them at all. They're on the bench. What do you think? What's your thoughts on that? Because I think that's such a weak move. I understand that they're both going to the playoffs no matter what, but don't sit every single guy out. Like, come on.
I don't like that they sit anyone out 4 games at all in the NBA. No, I don't like that.
I think you should
sit them out in practice.
Yeah, or give them, 2-3
Curry's
days playing 30 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Cut that down to 10 to 15. He'll be fine. Like, I understand you want to give guys breaks, but at least let them.
There's
get in the
breaks,
game.
And then there's sitting on the court Snapchatting the whole time. Like
exactly.
that's so ridiculous.
Right?
It's huge a distraction. Doing stupid interviews because I'm a star, but I'm such a big star I can't play all 82.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
I know they were asking some NHL guys, and all of them are saying nope. If they ask me to sit out, I'm not going to because I'm not injured, right?
No.
And that's kind of my mentality too. Is like even baseball, like they'll get a day off, but they also play every single day. So when they get a day
Right.
off, it's not like they're
When
sitting out.
Donaldson gets a day off,
Yeah.
it's because he tweaked something.
Yeah.
And so but then guys in the MLB, when they have days off, they take longer practices.
Yeah, like they're still out there doing
No,
their thing. I
yeah.
mean, they're back out there on the field the next day. I mean,
Yeah.
and even then, some guys, they get the day off, but there's a pinch hit situation in the 8th or 9th. They're coming out. They're not sitting out.
Yeah, no, they're dressed
Yeah.
and not playing. Like
And especially
Sam
down like the
Reinhart.
stretch, right? Like, we didn't even talk about that in the
No,
NHL
we did
segment.
not.
Might have to get back to that.
Maybe.
But again, like in the stretch run, a lot of these teams have made playoffs, but still, like, people are paying to see that game. That's a big game. San Antonio, Golden State, that's two of the top teams in the league. People want to see that.
That's,
and when you rest everyone, it's like, why
that
should
can
I buy
be-
tickets?
Like, not only do I want to see it now, but it's a precursor to the playoffs.
Yeah.
There are two teams that, as you said, are going in there, and there are two teams that I want to see in the Western Final, and I think that would be great. So when you do this, it's hurting the drama, it's hurting the atmosphere, it's losing respect. And when you're not the biggest NBA fan and you hear crap like this,
Yeah.
it makes you not like it.
Yeah.
It makes you only want to buy a Jordan Toons squad jersey.
A little Looney Tunes, eh?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Because
Good
even
respect
that made more sense than sitting your whole starting roster.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm not a fan of it. I don't know. I don't know if the NBA will ever crack down on that. I don't think they will. But
And-
it's got to be something
but
you look
how
at.
do you?
Yeah.
Like, because
I think
then
it's more of like an internal warning. Like, come on, guys. If you're gonna rest guys, that's fine, but at least play some people. You know what I mean? If you're gonna rest Curry, like KD's got to play. You can't rest both of them or
Yeah,
Thompson, right?
yeah, if you're gonna, if Golden State is going to rest their kicker, then they got to put their punter out.
Mid drink, sorry.
It's okay. It's my bad for making a stupid Golden State kicking joke.
Yeah.
Do you think Golden State is going to move?
No.
No? You think they're going to stay and play there?
Yeah.
They're not going to San Fran at all?
Maybe if they weren't like where they are now, you know what I mean? Like when you have a good team, it's hard to convince the fans that we're moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's just down the bay.
It's just down the bay, but it's still different. You know what I mean? Will they eventually? Probably. But
Probably.
I don't know if it'll be.
Once Curry gets traded.
Oh,
Do you think Curry will be traded at all in his career?
sure. I
Sure.
don't.
You don't see why not?
I think it's likely, but it won't be for a while. Like
No.
it might be when he's on the downward path to his career,
Yeah,
where
if
he's like
he's-
getting ready to go, and he's still got that name value, and you can still get some guys for him. Maybe a first round pick.
Do you see it more being a Joe McGinley situation or a Jaromir Jagr where he still wants to play
No,
and he's old, so you're just going to trade him around? Do you see it as a Gretzky situation where maybe they get a new team, so it's like, hey, this will help? Or
I don't see it being a Yager just because Yager's like an anomaly. Like the guy is just like he wants to play again next year. He wants to play till he's 50, and if there's a guy to do it, it's going to be him. And you just don't see that in any sport, especially NFL and NBA. You don't see guys going past 35.
yeah, so you say more again like
like he's
Twilight Zone.
got that name and he still can play, but
Yeah.
he's not the same player he was. Bring him in for some experience. He can still dish the ball out, hit a couple threes. Probably still be a starter, but I don't know. That's way down the road. I don't think Golden State's anywhere close to wanting to trade Curry.
Yeah. Who's winning the finals? Call it now.
Cleveland.
Okay.
Going back to back.
I'm going to say Golden State. Golden State. Hello and welcome back, everyone.
Hello.
That was a little bit of Hall and Oates for you, back to back.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, a little story time for that. Cole and I were talking earlier before the show was on, and I was telling him about how after I dropped off one of our friend Tadashi at work, I was coming back here to the college for the show, and it was such a nice day here in YQL.
Oh,
I had
it's
my
beautiful.
sunroof and both my windows down all the way, in my little Honda Accord, and I was blasting music. And as I turned into the college here, I had You Make My Dreams Come True, Hall & Oates, blaring. And of course I turned it up more because why not? It's a
Fantastic song.
fantastic tune. And I think I've had the most people acknowledge me. And at first I thought it was, they're like, oh, this a-hole has his music up too loud. But then every person, after they acknowledged that they could hear my music, I got 3 or 4 thumbs up.
Hall & Oates fans here.
Hall & Oates all throughout Lethbridge College here.
Why not?
Yeah, and you know what? I'm like, it could have been worse. It could have been blaring my my Harry Potter audio books.
Exactly. Little Hall & Oates never hurt nobody.
No, nobody got hurt by the Hall & Oates.
Good songs all the time.
Yeah, Toronto Blue Jays.
Before we get to that,
okay.
Little story here for you.
Ooh.
According to Rangers beat writer Evan Grant, RogueNet...
That's a fake name.
No
one's name is that.
Evan Grant, sports
That's
beat
2
writer
first names.
for the Rangers. Apparently, RogueNet Odor's contract includes 2 horses. So he got paid with 2 horses as well as money. I don't know why. I don't know how.
I love Texas.
But Texas, right?
Yee! I wish we had gun sounds. Hold on. I'm going to look it up.
All right. Try and find it.
What do you have any of Odor's stats, or do you have any updates of the WHL playoff games going on here?
Yeah, we got some updates. Lethbridge took the lead for a little while, and then Red Deer tied it up 3-3. Looks like there's just over 3 minutes to go. Regina is up 3-1 over Calgary. It's about 11 and a half to go. Sorry, Perrella, that one is looking like it's over. Portland is up 3-2 over Prince George in the second, so that could be a rocky finish there. So hopefully the Canes can...
we don't have any gun sounds.
No guns a-blazing? Just imagine that when we were talking about Texas, some guns were going off.
God bless us, everyone.
That too.
That's the closest thing I have to Texas guns.
So that's good enough.
I think so.
Shout out to Ray.
Shout out to
Station
Sensei
manager.
Burgess.
Hey, boys, it doesn't get any better than this.
That's what his agent said to him after his like, hey man, so I got you this and 2 horses.
Hey, boys, it doesn't get any better than
That's
this.
what RogueNet Odor said as soon as he was walking out of that contract meeting.
Woo!
Oh,
I live in an apartment, but I got 2 horses.
I'm sure he doesn't live in he's in Texas.
Yeah,
I don't
with
know why
George
you would-
Strait.
He lives with George Strait in an apartment.
No, just with George Strait's exes,
Okay.
because all his exes live in Texas.
Okay.
So the Blue Jays, they did not fare too well against the Yankees. The Yankees have been really good this spring training,
Yep.
but then again, it's spring training. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It's not like you get 2 horses
0
for
stock.
winning.
Unless you're RogueNet Odor.
For winning.
Do you think he has a bonus in his contract that if he hits like 20 home runs, he gets another horse?
No, I think it's like if you punch Jose Bautista in the face, you get 2 new horses every year.
I think it's Jose's turn to punch him in the face.
Yeah.
After that bad flip at the WBC. Oh.
If you haven't heard our thoughts on that, check out the video on YouTube. I made a couple suggestions that Cole did not like, but I think they work very well. So New York has been great, and so they look like younger, better, faster, stronger.
Yep. They're going to be a good team.
A little bit
Like
of
the
Kanye
AL
West
East
in
this
there.
year is going to be bananas like usual. Banana Land. The AL East this year. I don't
Monkey Balls 3, the AL East.
know. Story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Yeah. Going into this year, I don't know. Like, in the offseason, I was thinking it's going to be Boston because, you know, they got Chris Sale and Pablo finally lost a little bit of weight there, and he's looking pretty ripped. A little Sandoval at third base, no more ripping the belt off.
That was my favorite part.
That was bad.
The belt of flying.
I think Tampa Bay is the
Like
only
his
team
belt was
off.
I want to kiss you. I couldn't care less about the team struggling.
That was him all last
He
year.
couldn't care less about his belt struggling.
He was in the dugout just feasting in between innings for sure. He was huge.
Most teams have spits in the dugout. They had the Dons in the dugout. He's like, all right, I need 2 more Big Macs.
Yeah, that was him all year last year, Sandoval. But yeah, Boston would have been my pick. I think Tampa Bay is the only team that I don't see being close, but
still, they have good enough
yeah, they're not going to be a
pitching.
slouch.
And they're so good against the Blue Jays.
Yeah,
They're if any team could play upset for the Blue Jays not making the postseason, for some odd reason, it always seems it could be the Rays.
yeah, because it just seems like they go into Tampa Bay and they lose 2 out of 3 every single time.
And you can't blame it on the arena.
No, it's turf, just like the Rogers Center.
Exactly.
So it's just it's just one of those things. Like they go in there and they just lose. Like it's just I don't know. But I think Baltimore should be another strong team. But I think Boston, Toronto, and New York will be the 3 front runners. And I wouldn't be surprised if all 3 of them made postseason this year.
Are you going to watch any of the final games here for spring training up in Montreal?
Yeah, they'll be on. For spring training, I always have the games on, but I don't pay attention to them like
really?
I do for
I just have
regular season.
alerts on my phone. I'm like, spring ball, I don't care.
No, I'll throw it on. Usually I'll be doing homework or whatever and just throw it on. But when it's, a regular season time, then it's like I'm watching the game. So we'll see. These Montreal games, they're fun, but again, they're spring training, so it's like if they win, cool. If they don't, whatever.
Yeah. What teams do you think have surprised you outside of the Yankees and the AL East, really?
Moves or just
just for moves and the way they've kind of played in the spring.
Again, I don't watch spring training like religiously, so I can't. I still, if I had to put money on which team in the AL is going to make the World Series, it'd still be Cleveland. They were a great team last year and they're better this year.
Yeah.
So I think they would be, and I could see the Cubs going back to back.
Yeah.
I don't know if they will, just because it's incredibly hard to do so. But if there's a team, that would be cool. I mean, it took them 110 years to finally win one, so back to back would be cool. But I don't think Atlanta's
Kawasaki.
Gonna be good, so. He just got released.
R.I.P. to Kawasaki.
Well, apparently it's just like they're trying to give him a chance to sign with a team that could give him MLB playing time, so they might still re-sign him. Tampa Bay could probably sign him. Yeah,
but the thing is he's fine in a pinch.
Yep.
While you're waiting for your call up to come up, and he's a great interview. He's a cult classic fan.
But only here, like in
no,
Canada.
no.
Like,
there was a following for him in Chicago
but
as well.
Nowhere near as big here.
It's only really the teams he's on, and when you follow when you're a diehard fan base, that he becomes one of those guys. I was about to hit a button. I don't know why. For some reason, I had in my head clips of us having him say "Bush Party" and "I'll get drunk," but we don't have any of those.
Bush Party tonight. Bush Party. Yeah, that was funny. That was probably one of my favorite. Just all of those postseason interviews with Kawasaki was spectacular.
Yeah.
But yeah, other teams. I mean, I think St. Louis will be good again, and Dodgers. Those are kind of the same NL. I don't see the NL changing very, very much. The weak teams are going to be weak again this year, and the strong teams are going to be strong again. I think the AL East is going to be the big dog fight, because even Central Division should be good with Cleveland. Detroit should be all right. Kansas, I don't know. But the West will probably be just as weak as it was last year between Texas and Houston. But Seattle could also make a little bit of a play there.
I think Milwaukee should be better. I don't know why, but in my head I'm like that they should be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those teams.
and that's one of the problems with baseball is there's almost too many of those teams.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even look at like New York. Like the Mets could be a really good team if their pitchers stay healthy. If DeGrom and Syndergaard and even Harvey come back and play like they can, that could be a real good team in the East Division in the NL. So, I mean, I think that's a division that's really between the Mets and the Nationals. Like, I don't see Philly or the Braves or even Miami really being a big factor. So
Yeah. All right, that's fair. We're going to take a little break here again. We'll be back with something interesting, I think.
yeah, always.
Interesting, I think. All right, we're going to do a little bit of Formula One talk here.
A little racing.
Yeah, a little bit of racing.
Racing action.
But with the real drivers that can turn more than one way.
So no NASCAR.
0% NASCAR.
Jeff Gordon.
Dick Trickle. Only 2 NASCAR names I know. Ricky Bobby, Shake and Bake.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, so the Melbourne Grand Prix, also known as the Australian Grand Prix, people, real F1ers get really mad when I say it by the city instead of by the country, but...
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know. It's stupid. Anyways, Sebastian Vettel won, and I know that doesn't really mean much to you, Cole, but this is the first time in the hybrid area where a non-Mercedes car won.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Normally it has been a battle between Lewis Hamilton.
Louis.
Yeah, Lewis Hamilton. I don't
Great
like
name.
him.
No, why not?
No, he's a little pretty boy that complains a lot when he doesn't win.
Oh.
And then
Every sport has one of those.
yeah, and then Mercedes was just such a good team last year. Their engineering was so far ahead of everyone's. But with this new rule change, not only does it appear like it's more evened out, but it's going to be a battle of real drivers at this time, not teams so much. The rule changes for this season has pretty much just been for aerodynamics. The tires are now fatter and a little bit closer to the body. The body is now 2 meters wide instead of 1.8, and pretty much they're just condensing and making it more aerodynamic for
more
the
compact.
driver, a little bit more compact for this hybrid era. So, with those changes out of the way, it has been Vettel 1, Hamilton 2, Bottas 3, Kimi Räikkönen 4. So the top 4 are Red Bull and Mercedes. I'm a liar. Ferrari and Mercedes. I'm
Close.
sorry, Cole.
Close.
Red Bull came in at 5 with Verstappen. And you may ask me, but what about Ricciardo? Ricciardo didn't do too well.
No?
Ricciardo only finished 17th.
Where does he rank in the names? The best names in F1?
I think he's... there's so many good names, right? Because you got Hulkenberg.
Oh, that's a good one.
You got Verstappen, Massa, Sebastian Vettel, Palmer. Like there's
Sebastian, I like that one.
Yeah,
That's
I
the one.
love Sebastian Vettel. And underrated thing about Sebastian Vettel is he is German, but he speaks very good German, obviously.
I would hope so.
Very good English, and now that he's a Ferrari driver, he speaks very good Italian as well.
Very good linguist.
Yeah, trilingual at least.
Wow, good for him.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time.
Yeah, a lot of time. Lance Stroll, the new Canadian driver,
Yeah.
he had a little bit of penalties and not so good regulation wraps to figure out his pole position. He started out in last place. He had a penalty put on him for switching out his transmission before the race. That's a big no-no. And so what happened was he started in last place, and within the first lap alone, he moved up 5 places.
Okay.
So it's really good. It's really hard to do. It shows that he is a good driver. He may not be on the best team, but it doesn't really matter, and I think he will grow throughout the season and become really good, and I'm excited to watch him in Montreal. The next race for Formula One will be April 9th, the Chinese Grand Prix, and for us, that will start at midnight.
Oh, it's a late night.
It's a late night. TSN covers it, so set out your PVR and wake up with a nice cup of coffee and a race.
Or just stay up.
Or just do that, but I tend to just...
What day is that on? Is that like a weekend? Or?
Yeah, usually Sunday mornings.
Well, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Could be worse.
So
At least
you
it's
can
not
just
like a Tuesday.
you can keep your parties going.
Yep.
Yeah.
A little F1 on the TV.
Yeah, a little F1. The thing I do really like about F1 is they make it a whole weekend event.
Yeah.
They show up on like the Friday, And then they do all their laps and everything, and there's parties for the fans and everything, and then the Sunday's the race, and then they're off to the next one worldwide. It's really good. TSN does a really good job covering it. So if racing is something that you're into, please check out Formula One. And now we're going to go back to a little bit of hockey.
Before we get to that question for you, how did you get into F1?
My dad.
Oh, okay.
I've always liked fast cars and everything, but I never got into NASCAR. The closest thing to NASCAR I was into was Days of Thunder, which is the Tom Cruise movie that is pretty much Top Gun with four wheels.
And Nicole Kidman?
Yeah. But it's pretty much the same movie otherwise. And kind of he was starting to get back into it back when he heard about all the rule changes and all that. And then so that got me into it, and I fell in love with Vettel. He was one of the best. He was one of the best racers with Red Bull at the time. He was a young wiener. He's not really liked like in the community at the time, but now that he's older, he's more like now.
Settled down a bit.
Yeah, but he's such a good driver that I just love him, and now that he's with Ferrari as well, it's even better. So. Yeah, I think it's great. It's a lot more drama than you think.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's pretty cool.
Right on.
Yeah, Sam Reinhart, speaking of cool.
Cool guys.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. He was too cool to go to a team meeting.
Yep.
Therefore, Dan Bylsma's like, all right, kid, you're going to suit up, you're going to do warm-up, but then you're going to sit pine.
When do you think he told him that you're not playing? Do you think he does that before warm-up or right after warm-up?
I guarantee you it's like Sam's about to hop the bench, and he's like, no, kid.
No.
You're sitting here all game.
Do you think he gave him, like, you're sitting here the whole game, or do you think you're bench for a little while? Do you think he gave him, it might be a couple shifts, or was it just like, you're not playing all game?
I think it was straight up, you're not playing all game. And you're going to look like an idiot. You can't eat popcorn.
Yeah, that's a way to do it. If you want to prove a point.
That sends a message to everyone.
Yeah, it's way better than putting them in the press box, right? 'Cause then you get to do whatever you want. You still got to check out all the
honeys.
All the ladies in the stands, check the phone.
I'm a Kootenai Ice star. Come back to my flat.
In Buffalo.
In Buffalo. Oh, baby.
If that's not a selling point, I don't know what is.
We're a better Detroit. We're not as good Halifax.
Winnipeg. I think we talked about that last week. It's like Winnipeg, but worse.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Hey,
nobody likes Buffalo.
Not even
people
Buffalo.
from Buffalo. Yeah.
Yeah, they go to Toronto all the time.
Yeah. And then Toronto people go to Buffalo to watch the Leafs games and the Sens games and
the Bills.
That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Buffalo.
How do you think he's going to respond? Like, do you think
well, he's definitely going to be showing up at all the team meetings, like.
But I think it's so ironic that they're doing this to Reinhardt.
Yeah, I think
when they have a vendor, Kane.
Yeah, another guy that I'm just like, I don't know about that guy.
Do you think it's because he was a little bit caning out too much, and he's like, that only works for that guy, and even then it doesn't work?
I think it's more of he's a young guy, so, and he's not, I don't think he's an Evander Kane type, so you sit him out once, I would be shocked if this happens ever again.
I bet his dad, Paul, Stanley Cup champion, former Flame, called him up and said, you did what? Like,
I don't know.
Do you know how embarrassing that is?
Awkward. I'd be way more embarrassed if my dad called and was like, "Why didn't my son play?" Like on an NHL team?
No. I'm saying Paul called up Sam and was like, "What did you do, you idiot?"
Oh, he called. No.
Yeah. No, he's not calling Bylsma.
I was like,
I bet he'd call Bylsma and be like, you can do that for 2 games, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of guy Paul is. Yeah.
Yeah. I have zero problem with that. Like. I'm sure if it was Eichel, the same thing would have happened. Like, you got to send a message now.
Yeah, before
if Bylsman's still there in a couple of years, which I don't think
so. No, other coaches I don't think are going to be there for a long time. Lindy Ruff, I think his time is done.
But he will get a job almost immediately after.
Yeah, I think he could. But the thing is where?
Well, that's such a tough question because you just never... I don't know. I think Vegas is going to get just some guy
Bob Hartley, maybe.
No, not even that. I think like a young guy
Oh,
from
a
the
young buck,
AHL.
eh?
Yeah, like when Edmonton got Dallas Aikens, something like that.
But hopefully better.
See, the problem with Dallas Aikens, he was great with the Marlies, fantastic, but I just don't think he was ready to be an NHL coach, and definitely not in Edmonton because nobody was ready to be an Edmonton coach at that point. Like, anyone taking over that team at that point in time was not going to last.
Yeah.
So that's the problem there.
Vegas is, well, the news came out from the NHL that the protected list and the and the free list are both going to be made public. What are your feelings on that, Cole? Because I have my own set of feelings.
Yeah, we talked about this a long time ago, and I was saying, like, I don't really care. Like, it's fine that they release them, but if they didn't, I wouldn't be upset. It's one of those things where, like, I think a lot of teams, you already know who's going to be protected, so it's not going to be like a huge shock.
And the players know,
yeah.
and we were going to find out anyway, so it's more of a, are
Get
we going to find out from the NHL, or are we going to be finding out from the insiders leaking everything?
Yeah, I think they just wanted to get out in front of it, and they knew eventually, you know, maybe not full list, but every team was going to have people leaking what went on in those meetings and who was protected and who wasn't, so I'm fine with it. Again, I'll look and, you know, probably won't be too shocked. I'm sure there'll be some surprises, but
yeah,
I don't think it'll be like mind-blowing stuff.
Who from Vancouver, Toronto, like from the Canadian teams, who do you think are probably going to be taken?
Oh, that's a great question.
Thanks, man.
Because there's so, I mean, from Toronto, I'll start there just because that's like my main knowledge. I think like a guy like Kirby Reichel could be gone, which would kind of suck, but at the same time, like, where is he going to play next year anyways?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. And then Ottawa, again, a lot of their guys, I think they're going to be protected, so it'll probably be another guy like Kirby Reichel who's on the bubble, but just not going to get the playing time. Because they're going to protect, you know, like the Mark Stones and the Carlsons, of course. And I'm sure Anderson will get protected. So, Montreal, Jordy Ben.
Carey Price.
That'd
be so dumb.
That might be... Montreal may not be a city after that. They would burn that place to the ground.
Yeah.
Like, it would be gone. But yeah, like Jordy Ben, a guy like that, I think that's why they picked him up.
Berta teams?
Edmonton.
Cassian.
The first thought was Cassian or like
Lucic.
Like a Maroon or like maybe even like a Nugent Hopkins, but I don't know why they wouldn't protect him.
No,
you know what I
and
mean?
the thing is when it comes down to a Nugent Hopkins is that's a name you have to trade.
Yeah. Like you need to get something back for him. Calgary.
Calgary's
maybe
harder.
Like a Furland. I don't know if they would ever protect him.
Yeah, see, the thing is a lot of the guys that I would want Calgary to put up, or who if I would put up if I was tree living, is they're done next year. Like their contracts are up.
Yeah, like Weidman, like he would be a perfect candidate, but he's done. So.
Weidman, Stage, and England. I think England has done really well here.
Yeah, I think they're going to probably try and re-sign him.
They'll either try to re-sign him on a one-year contract, cheaper contract, or he's going to be the captain of Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's a perfect pickup for a Vegas team.
He's played in Vegas on the AHL team, I think it was, that was down there, or IHL or whatever.
ECHL?
Yeah, something like that. He played in Vegas. He's proven that he can play the same way, whether it's 12 to 20 minutes. He doesn't care. He's one of the better scrappers in the league.
Because Vegas is going to be a pretty young team.
He's a good father figure. If you didn't see, Clifford came up to Chuck when he was just stretching in the warm-ups and just that quick.
Yeah.
He was there. He's a good leader. He's a good father figure for those guys, and he lives in Vegas in the off season, anyways.
Yeah,
so
he's like a
real
Matt
Vegas
Martin
guy.
type guy. That he's there for one reason. Like he's gonna play,
and he's good at it.
Yeah, and he's know what he's doing. Right, he's there to protect the guys. So
yeah,
and we're on Vancouver. Ooh, maybe like a Sven Barchi.
Yeah, or Granlund, because Granlund
Granlund.
originally was one of the guys that I thought Calgary would let go of.
Yeah.
But then they traded him instead.
Yeah, and that was a good trade for Calgary.
Oh, 100%.
Like another name that came to
Sutter,
my head,
maybe?
like a Virtanen, but I don't
Yeah,
know if they're
maybe.
ready to give up on him yet.
And I don't know if I don't think he's played long enough to count.
Yeah,
So
maybe like a Markstrom.
yeah, I'd almost give up Sutter, not because I don't like him or anything, just
Yeah.
because he gets injured so easily
Yeah.
and so often at this point. That's one of the guys that I would think, as a GM, he's harder
You
to
gotta
trade
put him
now.
up. Yep.
Pittsburgh got rid of him at the perfect time for them, and all that, and
Yep. If we can get rid of that contract, like
yeah,
it's not a big deal, right?
It's no skin off their nose. They can't really rebuild until they get rid of the sisters, anyways.
Vancouver's in a spot that I'm just like, I'm so glad my team isn't in that position where they're still trying to hold on to this hope that the Sedins can bring them a cup, and it's not going to happen. So
Is Iginla coming back next season? To you?
Ooh. No, I don't think so. I think
he
he's
is.
going to retire.
I think he's coming back, but it all hinges on if Daryl and Lombardi are fired or not. Because if they're not fired this offseason, then Iginla's coming back on a 1-year contract. And
if they are fired, you
and if
don't
they
see
are
him going
fired,
anywhere else?
I see him, if he's not willing to go to Vegas, then I don't see him really playing unless he does a 1-year really cheap deal in Calgary. But I also don't see that at all.
I don't know. Like, you'd be, like a fourth-line guy?
Yeah,
Like,
he'd take
at
up a
best,
Matt Stajan role.
Which would be bad, but, I mean...
But that's not how the city remembers him, and that's not how the city wants to remember him.
Thanks for listening to 3 on 1. Stay tuned to the Kodiak every Thursday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m.